What is up, everybody? Hello, 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 hello. That has been a while since I've done a live stream. We are live, guys. Welcome, everybody, to this live stream of today. I'm really looking forward to the coming hour or so because, first of all, I love streaming. It's just good to connect with you all for a little bit. And as I am getting myself ready for an early week off, because tomorrow I will be flying out to have a nice weekend somewhere. So this brings closure to my week, and I thought, what better to just sit down, relax, and talk about the charts for a little bit, and have some fun together. Let me know how you are all doing. Let me know in the chat. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and just pump it up and get the hype going. I have a few things that I'm wanna cover in this stream. I think it's gonna be a very, very good one. But I'm first gonna wait for people to roll in a little bit. Say hello to everybody. We actually do have a little bit of volatility, or quite a lot of volatility today and yesterday. Even right now on the chart, we have Bitcoin making moves, we have the ES making moves, we have the dollar making moves. So never a boring day in crypto. Let me adjust my screen a little bit. I even put on a turtleneck, so I look smarter. And at least it seems like I know what I'm doing. I mean, the clothing says it all. So I hope you are all doing really well. Yeah, and I'm kind of thinking, like, where do I really want to start off? I guess I want to start off with, I think the best way to start off really is to just tell a little bit about what trades I'm in. If you've been following my Twitter, then you probably are already aware of how I've been trading and what kind of trades I'm in. Currently, I am in a long position. I already did take profits. I actually managed to get in at the very, very, very low of yesterday while trading the volatility of the Fed interest rates decision. Actually, let me show you. I have already taken profits. It's not a major position that I've been taking on because I'm aware with the volatility, and given the overall context, we have been increasing in price already for a relatively long time. So I'm keeping a little bit my position sizing in check, things like that, So as you can see, this is my position that I'm currently in. Currently still $25,000 in the position. I have taken about 60% out of the position along the way up, right? So let me just refresh this so you all can see that this is real and not being fake and all that kind of stuff. It's not testnet or anything. But yeah, it's a real trade. I managed to get into the position very, very well, all the way here, really, on my how do you say that? On my, well, I guess you could call it an experimental account. I have a few accounts where I do where I test out strategies, where I do, So the thing is that let me just tell you a little bit about this. So obviously I have quite a bit of trading accounts, but I also have accounts where I experiment and test out new strategies on. But I like to do so. I don't like to paper trade myself, and for the reason for that is simply you lack. If you only do paper trades, at least this is what I personally believe. If you only paper trade, you lack the experience of managing whilst being in the trade. You miss dealing with your emotions, you miss managing the trade, you just miss that aspect of trading. So that's why I always do like to trade on actual positions with actual real money, but not money that, if things go wrong, then I'm gonna be like totally wrecked. So that is one of my test accounts. And what I want to do in this stream is I want to walk you through how I got my entry into that trade, teach you a thing or two about it, and I also want to address this. I also want to talk about how you can actually trade volatility time. So how can you trade news events? I always say that give me a chart and I'll tell you the news. However, news is definitely something, especially when interest rates are increasing or decreasing, or any announcement regarding, the macroeconomy things. It sparks volatility in the markets. So I like to trade that volatility. That is what I've done yesterday. And I want to talk about a little bit later on in the stream how you can do that. Because for a lot of people, it's very scary. A lot of things happen. So usually two things happen when you try to trade the volatility. Either you get wrecked, really easily, because especially in crypto, prices making movements of 6, 7, 8, sometimes even more percentage moves in a matter of just an hour. So if you trade with really large positions in the midst of that volatility, you really need to know what you're on about. You really need to be able to have the calmness and the discipline to just not over position yourself. Unfortunately, this happens with a lot of people. They just simply get wrecked, and the other group of people finds it a little bit too scary, and they just prefer to stay on the sidelines, So I do want to address this and to talk about how you can actually trade from news events. So not by reading and following the news per se, but by approaching it on a technical level, and in a way that's safe, or safer. Because if you're sitting there on the sidelines, and if your aspiration is to become a day trader or a scalp trader, at some point in time you do need to start getting that experience. You do need to dive in and start trading that volatility. At some point you just need to break the ice and go for it. So I want to address that and hopefully give you some tips and tricks on how you can approach this. Of course, always keep your risk management in check. That's the single most important thing. I will always say this, so don't trade with money you cannot afford to lose. Don't expect to make like insane amounts of money just like that, just because you have one time of a volatility day. You should trade it just like any other day, with the correct risk management, with a plan in advance. That's really, really, really important. Actually, let me close this off before I accidentally click some buttons that I don't want to do. So, yeah, having that said, I want to start off with the beginning. Let me quickly check in the chat who is here, actually. So, 110 viewers. Wow, that's crazy. Really nice. Hola, amigo, Adolfo. Very nice to have you here, guys. Very nice. We see Babook in the chat. We see Phil in the chat. We see Marenza in the chat. Joe in the chat. Sound. I see a comment about the sound. Is the sound all right? The sound should be all right. I hope. Well, welcome everybody once again. Well, give me some support, give me some love, guys, just as in the same way I give you guys some love by providing you all this information and sharing my experiences. If you haven't subscribed, if this is your first time here, well, sit back, relax, and enjoy. What we're going to do is go over the charts, look in depth into the price action, and, just have some fun, even though amidst the volatility that we currently have going on right now, it's okay. It happens, if you miss a move right now or if you miss a move tomorrow, there's always a good trade ahead. I've just shown you the trade that I'm in currently. In nice profits, pays for my weekend away. I will be flying out to the UK this weekend, so I am going to have a nice bottle of whiskey that I will be finishing, hopefully not by myself, but we'll see. Anyway, so, yeah, I'm searching a little bit for some structure to talk about. I feel like I want to say a lot, but I don't really know where to begin, right? So I want to hang out a little bit. I want to talk charts and all that. So you know what? I'm just gonna talk about the charts because that's where I feel most comfortable. So let's just go ahead. Right. How did I approach the chart? So essentially, let's take a look at the chart, at the structure that we've got going on. And as always, as you might know by now, if you've been following me, I always like to start off with building some context. So big events happened in crypto lately. On the charts, we have broken out of a massive range that took 8 months to form, or we have simply been ranging in this big wide area. We have broken out now. We have daily closes outside of this. We have even weekly closes, a weekly close outside of this. So this is a big thing, It's a breakout of a range. And obviously the natural question is now, is the bottom in? Well, the probabilities definitely have increased. Am I ultra convinced that the bull market has begun? Well, I have reasons to think yes, but I also have reasons to think no. If you want to know the details of those reasons on the macro picture, check out the live stream that I did on my Elliott wave count, where I give multiple scenarios. Really quick summary of this is, this could still, the most bearish option where we would see immediate downside is not necessarily invalidated, but is not my favorite count anymore. Alternatively, we have started a new bull market over here, and then the I would say the midterm time frame bullish but macro bearish perspective is still very, very much in play, which would bring us ultimately up to anywhere really between $45,000 and $50,000 before we would see a major turn of events once again. Those two options at the moment have my preference. And with having that said, that most bearish scenario of having this downturn right now, the probabilities have lowered by quite a bit, yet it is still not fully invalidated. And in order for me to fully say, like, okay, this is really now a lot, this is really now not something that I'm really expecting anymore anytime soon, is really if we get back above this region, which, as you might now already notice, brings us literally to where we are at right now. That's the reason why I'm explaining this. This context is very, very important, because while we have broken out of this big range, we are at resistance, and this is not midterm time frame resistance. This is macro resistance, right? This has been tested many times in the past on the macro timescale. So therefore, I do deem this is a massively important region. So in order to fully cross out the immediate bearish scenario, I would really like to see that box fully being obliterated. Essentially, that's the short version of it. If you want to see all the details, go to my YouTube channel, click on the live button where you can see all the live streams, and watch the Elliott wave one. That is where I really go in depth in really deep dive into it, and also my reasoning behind it. But for today, all that's needed to know for now, I think, is that. And with that, at least I want to focus on the more local time frame. Still a fairly high time frame, but I would still say this is local price action, right? So out of the range, but at resistance. Now, always two questions you need to ask yourself. Okay, where are we going? In this case, we're going up. But the real question is, how did we get there? And that is really where the clue lies, and ultimately set the fundament for the way that I was looking to trade this price action. Allow me to demonstrate. So I want to go to a little bit more of a local time frame. 1 hour should be fine. to be fair. And this is where you could say, this is for me where it all started, right? So this is where we finally broke out of this range. We had a little bit of a consolidation area, and we made our way further up, maintaining the upward trend, right? By putting in higher highs and higher lows, right? However, the way that we were doing so, I would not necessarily class this as a strong trend. Why? Because I would actually classify this as a range. In other words, an upwards sloping range. This is the image that I posted yesterday on Twitter. An upward sloping range where we are simply sloping upwards, indicating that the current trend, at least, this entire section, is starting to lose momentum. This is a very important clue. Now, does this mean, oh, I need to short right away? No, absolutely not. Why? Because the trend, in the end, is still up. So more upside remains the most probable. Actually, funny enough that this channel, is crazy. I already removed it, actually, but now that I'm doing this live on stream, look how technical this is. Is insane, broke out of it, back tested it, reclaimed it, midline of the channel, rejection. Guess where we are at right now? Boom, bottom line of the channel, simply once again. Crazy, amazing. But in all honesty, this is the channel that I was looking at yesterday. I deleted it because I traded it slightly different. I traded it during volatility, but actually the moment that that we started losing the channel, that is where the next idea actually came into play for me, where ultimately this trade setup was being presented. So what am I trying to say? What am I trying to say here? That at this point in time, for me, never has been an area of interest to enter into new longs, because I already saw okay, we might still be going up. Can we do this? Absolutely. What's the probability? The probability is not necessarily very high, because 9 out of 10 times when you lose momentum, you would be set up for a bigger retracement. And that is where that previous consolidation area for me became of the utmost importance. Let's mark that out. So we have this thing. Now, what is going on here? We broke out of the big range, put in a small consolidation range over here, broke out of it again, backtested it as resistance, continued our way upwards, in the process starting to form this, well, I guess you could call this a rising wedge. I don't necessarily like these names for these kind of patterns, but it is what it is. More often than not, what I would expect is ultimately, right, for it to drop downwards in order to find support on that previous consolidation region, which was the area of interest of me. So while I was already waiting for that, factoring in something like, okay, I expect volatility because we're going to have a big announcement coming up today, right? Do I know which way it's going to trade? Absolutely not, well, I mean, if you would have put a gun to my head, I actually journaled it in the morning. I would say probably we're going to see a retracement, but whether it would happen literally here or if we would first hit that, that $30,000 level and then see this retracement, that is something you cannot really know in advance, because at these moments of volatility, when the news is coming out, it's kind of a little bit random, to be honest, really, what's happening then, So all you can do is prepare for some opportunities that can come in advance. So that formed the setup for me to take that trade, or at least to generate that area of interest for me. In addition to that, so we had this consolidation area, but on top of that, we also had the almighty gap that was being filled. Let me demonstrate that as well. If I go to the futures chart, there we go. We had a gap on the BTC chart, on the BTC futures CME in Chicago. And what did we do? Boom, we closed the gap. And that proved to be support combined with the consolidation area and this whole philosophy that I just literally explained, allowed me to take that trade with confidence and simply trade it. And for the record, I took multiple longs there, of which one I just showed you. So that brings us to the current situation. And I guess we can move over to the topic of how do you want to trade the volatility part. So what I want to address here is how do you want to, and how can you actually trade, volatility when the Feds are speaking, or when some kind of announcement is gonna come out. The thing is, with news coming out, you never really know. It's pretty much impossible to know which way it's gonna go. To me, it's very funny. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love to trade this volatility. I mean, I thrive in these environments. This is what I love. I love to be in the belly of the beast. I love this volatility. But does the actual news help me make those trading decisions? Absolutely not. I always have to laugh a little bit because, let's say, you always have these meetings start at, let's say, 7 o'clock. And then half an hour later, the actual meeting starts. It's really funny that, so many positions are seemingly just randomly being taken half an hour prior to that. And then when the person starts to speak, another spike in volatility happens. And what happens afterwards, right? But the funny thing is that if you really think about it, trading those kind of things really is pretty much gambling. Is really gambling. So it doesn't really matter what they say in the end immediately. That usually has effect later. If you look at in the past, I should have prepared this, I think, a little bit. But usually when these kind of announcements are being made, you have volatility, right? So price is usually ranging the day before. Then you have a massive spike of volatility. Can be to the upside or to the downside. It's technical. But which way it's going to go first is pretty much very unpredictable. And then it makes a move to one side. Then it makes one move to the outside. And then it kind of just ends up where it was before. So that is one thing I think you should take note of. So maybe you should actually get out your notepad and write these things down, because there is a trend in these things. What's really happening when these announcements are gonna come out. So let me do some analysis for you guys. So what I was looking at myself was, what was that again? Right. I am looking actually at some volume levels, macro volume levels, which gives me the lowest levels. And for me, that's important as I'm looking for potential take profits. Keep in mind, I'm also still in a long swing trade, literally from this low over here as well, that that's still running. And at the moment, absolutely not in danger, right? Because if you look at the bigger picture, everything is still going up, right? This is a major checkpoint for me, where I'm very interested, not necessarily to short, but I do want to see the reaction. I do want to observe what price is going to do if and when we reach there. So I'm going to class this as the value area low, macro of, pretty much the entire section of 2021. And a large part of 2022 as well. So big level. And on top of that, we have this section also. So I hope you can see now why I like this level, why I'm looking for this level. So, right, we were here yesterday, right? So I already have made some kind of analysis, right? These are the levels that I was looking at for today. So how can you trade this volatility? So the thing is, I mean, look at that. This at 7 o'clock, my time, that is when the meeting starts. And if you look at the timestamp here on the chart, this is the exact on the minute when the volatility literally started. Well, literally started, as you can see over here. Boom, like instantly. And it first locally, you see that? Bam, bam, and then close in the middle. Very funny. And then after that, obviously you had your reaction. But at the moment, I'm not necessarily. So this is the scenario. You know, I'm trying to find the words how I can explain this in the most clear way that I can possibly come up with. When trading, when you expect volatility to come into the market, I would say it's very unwise to trade in the midst of that exact price action. Because history has shown us time and time and time again that every time an announcement comes or volatility is expected in the market, price tends to make pretty large moves. So ask yourself, why would you want to, here we are actually trading in a very small and tight section, right? Not forgetting the overall context. Taking a position here is, in my opinion, kind of asking for trouble. Of course, you can read the order flow and you can catch the highs and the lows if you're really good in it. But it first of all, it goes really fast, and second of all, you need a lot of experience and really know what you're doing. Otherwise, you're simply gonna get wrecked, and you don't want that. So that makes it a little bit daunting and scary to actually trade that, But if you have observed this a couple of times, then you can start seeing a pattern here. And recognizing patterns as humans, this is what we're really good at. However, as a trader, you need to take the next step into that, because the next question should be like, I always like to make the comparison between an economist and, let's say, like an entrepreneur or a trader or something like that. An economist knows all the patterns and knows everything. This person, he or she, knows everything, how the machine works. But have you ever seen an economist that's a millionaire, right? So this is the thing. They know a lot, but they've never taken that extra mile to think like, okay, how can I use this for my own benefit or for somebody else's benefit? That's fine too, obviously, right? That is the extra mile that you need to make as a trader. And that is where the difference lies between being a really good analyst and a good trader. It's a massive difference, because reading a chart, let's be honest, with the right training and the right education, anybody can, I would say, learn how to read a chart. But to actually make that extra step and form that into a plan of action on creating a strategy on how you can actually benefit from that, that is something that sets the trader apart from the analyst. Well, if you can do both, perfect. That's great. So what am I getting at here? This pattern, making volatile moves on the very small time frame. I want to, I kind of zoned out a little bit, but I want to get back to where we are. So the fact that it might be daunting and intimidating actually to trade these kind of price actions. So one thing that you can obviously do is, instead of looking, let's just exaggerate a little bit, looking here on your 1 minute chart. Oh my God, in 5 minutes time, the announcement is gonna be, what should I do? Oh my God, I'm taking a trade here, maybe here. It goes very fast. It's highly unlikely, especially if you're not experienced yet. It's highly unlikely that you're too late, if you're not catching the high. Your entry is maybe going to be here, then it does this, and then it does this, it gives you lots of stress. So if you know that on average these announcements give you like these multiple percentage moves, my question to you is, why are you looking in this 0.5% region to actually take your trades, right? You have your bigger levels already that is very close. Here you have a big level, and here you have a big region. So why not, if you expect that volatility, why not wait till the volatility actually comes in? And essentially what you're doing is standing on one of these lines with your baseball bat. And then when price comes to that level, when everybody is going crazy, you're there just standing there waiting to be ready and just bam, smash your trade into the level, essentially. Fading the move, for example, is one of the options that you can do. So what am I really saying? What I was looking at was potentially a short trade over here to this region and a trade potentially. In this case, I would be eyeing this because the chart has already proven to me that it could get here, so I would be looking for a trade back to the top of the range with the option of letting it run to this level. So, so what I'm doing is I'm expecting volatility, prices here at the moment. Yes, it looks like it could definitely drop, but how do I know that it's going to drop from here just like that, right? It might as well just have been this and then this and then, doing that kind of thing. So what I'm really saying here is, whilst I know that volatility is coming into the market, I'm looking for that bigger move to come into play, right? I'm looking for that volatility to start going. I will be waiting with a plan that I already made beforehand, where if you're in a quiet consolidation area, it's highly unlikely you're going to hit that level on a day, because we're talking about 8% move here, right? Of course, Bitcoin makes moves like that, but it doesn't really happen. If you're a day trader, you wouldn't be looking for 8% moves every single day. That's in my opinion ridiculous. That just doesn't really happen every day. So as a day trader, you're looking for these smaller moves. But in these events, these moves can happen in just a matter of an hour or 2 hours. And that is then, so widen your view, be able to zoom out and focus on the wider regions, really. Yeah. So that is how you can anticipate on trading that volatility coming into the market, right? This is one way how you could do it, all right? Alternatively, and this is a golden nugget, so keep your notepad out. What I also said is what it tends to do is this, and then essentially return in the middle. This is what you can do, where I would say this is where you can start trading within the price action, where in these kind of events, where you could say like, okay, what was the edge of this event? What was the bottom of this event? And you can trade within, right? Of course, there's levels in between that you can use to trade from and to scalp from. But if you know that price generally makes a move to one side, then to the other side, and then kind of just stays within those defined edges, you can you got yourself a region where you can look for trades in, then where this is simply resistance and this is simply support. And even though it's not the most pretty example here, this kind of holds true, right? This kind of holds true because we have not left this region at all. As a matter of fact, we've now transformed this upward sloping range into a sideways range. And that's how the narrative evolves and shows and presents itself, right? Not the move is caused by the news, but trading from it is done by technical analysis, at least by me. Okay, let me calm down. I think I spoke a lot. Let's interact a little bit, guys. I see let me take a look at the chat. Do you guys have any questions, any comments? Let's engage a little bit. Let's have some fun as well. This is all quite serious, obviously. Hopefully this is really helpful to you. If you have any questions regards to the charts or anything, I'm up. So shoot your question, type it out in the chat, and we'll see what we can do about it. even if I say so myself, I think this information is pretty good shit. So yeah, I think if this is new to you, take out your notepad, maybe rewatch this stream multiple times. I mean, I'm literally giving out this information for free live on a stream, so use it for your own benefit. Having that said, I've been getting so much requests and questions about, like, hey, Mike, are you gonna start like a trading group or something like that? Initially, I didn't want to do it, but I think I'm gonna do it. So I don't know. I don't have any details for you yet, but keep an eye on it. I would say it's gonna be good. It's gonna be fun. I became passionate about it because of you guys, because so many people asking. I think I might do it. So let's see. So the one consideration that I'm obviously in, like, I'm gonna be totally honest with you, there's quite a considerate time commitment for me into that, right? So and that's the biggest point that I'm questioning myself about. Like, okay, do I want to do that? You know, so I'm in the process. I'm leaning towards yes, but I need a little bit more time to think about it. Yeah, and there's a lot of good stuff coming up in the future. I can tell you that in the near future. So it's gonna be good. Let me see. Okay, I see some questions in the chat. So let me just pop out the chat. Let me go over that. Oh man, it's great to do a stream. I love it. Price looking. We had some momentary volatility. By the way, I quickly want to address this. So why am I not scared for my long here right now? You might ask yourself. I mean, let's be honest. We had actually a retracement of 3.5%. It's crazy. I'm already done trading for now, right? So for me, I'm just simply, no matter what happens, I'm just not interested in taking a new position. Even though, obviously, as you can see, this is massively volatile. You can trade this left and right and center and make tons and tons of money. I've already done my part this week, so I'm content. I'm just content with this week, you know. So for me, no need to overdo it. I called it quits for trading for this week already, so I'm gonna just let all of this happen, whatever. But if I was trading, this is what I quickly want to address, is why am I not bothered by this drop? Well, that answer lies a little bit in the dollar. We see a little gap here, over here. So got filled. So now we can either keep on ranging on the dollar, right? Or move further down, because in the end, the structure is still down. Can we go up from here? Yeah, of course we can. Oh, of course we can. The ES dropped quite hard, really hard actually. Actually made a new low. So this was the drop of yesterday. Bitcoin followed over here and made a new low. What I find very interesting is Bitcoin is holding very, very, very strong, at least at the moment. I mean, there's no telling what Bitcoin is going to do if the ES is going to continue dropping off. We have, I think, what was it again? Either 15 minutes or 1 hour and 15 minutes left for the market close. So maybe some more volatility coming in, but looks like it's all calming down again. So yeah. And so how does this translate to Bitcoin? So dollar filling the gap, ES making quite a big move, actually putting in a new low. And look how Bitcoin is holding up. It's holding up quite well. Let's be honest. You know, it's still range bound. It did not make a new low. So in my opinion, that signals local strength, even though we dropped 4%. Another help, obviously, is that I'm in a trade all the way over here. So I have plenty of time and space to actually make decisions based on here on out. And that's the nice thing. If you wait for the setup to come to you, you don't chase the trade. You let the trade come to you. All you do is waiting for your plan to come into fruition. If we would have done this and this, well, I've would have missed the trade. Okay, fine, then that happens. But it did. I was waiting patiently. The trade came to me. All I had to do is literally sit back, wait for price to drop, check what's going on there locally. I took the trade on the 1 minute time frame. See if it checks all the boxes that I had for myself, and it did. And all I had to do was literally just click the button, take the trade. The work has already been put in, So trading is definitely hard work, but the execution of the trade, saying this carefully, depending on how large you trade, the execution generally is just doing it, doing what you said. Anyway, going off on a rant here again. So let me take a look at the chat and a sip of my coffee. Let me see. What do we have? Where did you get that value area low? 29,472. 29,4. Okay, I can show you that again. Want a nice bottle of water. I think that's what you're referring to. Value area low. Value area low. So, if you've been following me for a long time, for longer than a year, then you know that I have this massive channel on the Bitcoin chart for literally almost 3 years now, really. 2021, 2020, 2 years, 2 years. This is the bottom line of that channel. So where did we left that channel? I'm just simply pulling some volume levels from the beginning till where we left, and that's where I'm aligning my value area low. Now, this is the thing. So this is such a macro level. I don't care whether I'm trying to be as precise as possible. Don't get me wrong. But I'm not looking for a trade setup at $29,492.50. No. This is such a big level, such a macro level. I'm really looking at a region. So for me, this line represents a region really between that 29 and really $32,000, really. But this is for me a visual representation of an area where I'm interested in monitoring the price action, So when price is hovering or in or around these regions, these tend to be more busy days for me, where I'm actively just checking out the charts, how is this progressing? Whereas if we're just in the middle of a trend, let's say in this trade over here, when we're doing this, or actually when we're making this move, it's less maintenance for me, at least. So that's the way how I look at it, and that is how I got that level. Sure, please try to predict the future, please. Well, I mean, we're literally at resistance at the moment. I remain very open for higher prices, to be fair, because breaking out of this range is big. It's very big. So really, until we, as long as we stay outside of it, I foresee higher prices. Literally as simple as that. This doesn't help for day trading per se, because obviously in the day, as you can see, we do have retracements and big ones as well, as the market is starting to broaden and we're starting to rediscover previous price levels. Liquidity is still not great, but the price movements are bigger, and that causes a lot of volatility. So either way, it's still not on the same level as it used to be, let's say 1.5 to 2 years ago, but it's a lot more pleasant to trade than when we were just doing nothing here. This was at this point in time, at this section and this section, I just literally just left crypto for just a few weeks, because there was nothing to do. I moved over to stocks for a little while. Yeah, because there was just literally nothing whatsoever to do. I did not enjoy that. Now, we're back in the volatility. I like it. I love Bitcoin again. And for me, at the moment, is all I need. I mean, in what other market you get literally at the moment like these crazy moves every day? It's awesome. So are you still macro bullish, or do you think this 30? I mean, I'm leaning for higher prices. However, if I see signs of weakness locally, I will not hesitate to flip my bias in an instant and short, right? So that's why I'm saying this with caution. I am mid-term time frame bullish. Macro bullish, really for me, well, technically I can only say, even though I'm already long, obviously, but to really say like, yep, the new bull market is on, we really need, I would say after $50,000, really. Until then, I'm still open for this being a major retracement, and we have still prices to come, But yeah, I mean, midterm time frame, I remain bullish. If we really start losing these lows again, right? Then I would say that class that as an early sign of weakness. However, if we really start getting back into this $25,000 region, and we get acceptance in that region again, yeah, then obviously that's actually pretty bearish. But until then, I remain bullish. I have really no reason to think that we're just gonna drop out of the blue from here. Of course, anything can happen, but I'm thinking in probabilities, never in certainties. The probability of $14,000 Bitcoin at the moment is low. The probability of $35,000 or higher is medium to high at the moment. Reclaim that $30,000, that probability becomes very high. That's literally how I'm thinking. So for me, it's never think like, okay, I'm gonna say it's gonna go there, or I'm gonna say it's gonna go there. No, I have my regions, and I continuously shift my expectations. Like, okay, the probability went up now for this, and the probability went down for B. But if C happens at probability 1, then I'm instantly, trading the opposite way. So even though I might be bullish, I don't mind to short, honestly, and doesn't mean that I don't believe in Bitcoin or whatever, so I'll also get these comments a little bit, yeah, but then you don't believe in the crypto. Well, that really has nothing to do with it. I'm a trader. So as a trader, I'm looking to extract money from the market, whether that is to the upside or to the downside. I really couldn't care less whether Bitcoin is trading at $100,000 or at 50 cents. I really do not care in from a trading perspective. All I care about is, can I trade this? What are you drinking? Well, currently I'm drinking coffee. But actually, most recently, I've discovered the richness of cognac. Really, really, really like cognac. I've really discovered that, and yeah, I'm became quite a fan of it. I'm not really like an expert in it, but I definitely want to explore the cognac side of things. I'm quite a big, I'm quite a big fan of that drink. Or that type of liquor, or liquid liquor. It's not a liquor. Anyway, you get the point. Love the turtleneck game, not gonna lie. Oh, thank you. Can I do this with other tokens? Yeah, I could. I will do that actually in a separate stream. Yeah, I think in the next live stream. Oops. Ooh, that was almost the camera. We're still here. Where were we? Yeah, so I will do some altcoins actually if you guys want to. Let me know in the chat if you guys want me to look at some altcoins. I think what I can do is maybe do a poll on Twitter or something like that. Because obviously there's like thousands of altcoins, so I'm not gonna I'm not gonna chart every altcoin. But yeah, sure, we can take a look at some alts. Absolutely, I like the idea. Am I doing private lessons? Actually, I do. I do give private lessons. If you're interested in that, well, just hit me up on DM in Twitter, and I'll give you some information. Whenever there's an important high or low being made, do you always watch for a huge volume spike there? That's a good question. Preferably yes, but it doesn't have to be. So ranges can essentially rotate in two ways. If you have a big volume spike, let's say at the top of a candle, and you're taking out the previous high, you can, the origin of that volume is coming from two things. Either it comes from fresh money entering into the markets, right? Or it comes from people, essentially in crypto terms, getting wrecked. That's where the volume comes from. There's no other way how volume can be produced. Simple as that. Preferably, if you're looking to fade the move, preferably you're looking for that volume spike coming in with fresh money at the top of that candle, preferably. And then you want to see those traders being trapped. In other words, you want to see price making a very quick move to the downside. Alternatively, this happens more in ranges, you have an absence of volume. So whenever that happens is when price reaches or when price increases, but actually lacks the volume to break through, then this is what you call an automatic rotation, where selling essentially just takes over and makes a rotation to the downside. So in this case, you would actually see an absence in volume, and in this this is actually not a good example, but in the other case, you would have a major volume spike. So in the past, I can show you that, not on the Bybit chart because Bybit didn't exist then at the time. So I'm gonna have to go. Yeah, let's get back to some old memories. Let's look at at BitMEX. This is my old home. What was it again? XBT. Oh man, I can't remember the ticker. Oh, I guess it's just this. XBT USD or something like that. So for those who have, this one or this one. So for those who have been around the block for some time, no, definitely not those. Must be those then. Yeah, there we go. This used to be my main trading place. This used to be the biggest exchange in 2018, 2019, 2017. This was the place where everybody, essentially where you traded. I mean, we have a lot to thank for BitMEX, to be honest. Even though a lot of stuff happened with that exchange in the past and everything, they invented the whole funding mechanism, allowing you to actually have futures positions open for without an expiry date, right? So they were really revolutionary at the time, and that is only exclusively new to crypto. Crypto came up with those funding things. So, something has to be said about that. But getting back to the actual. No, man, this is just way too long ago. Volume is not available. I don't think I'm even in the right ticker. So sorry, I'm gonna have to come back another time on that. But what I wanted to say is this was on a macro time frame where we hit that all-time high. Had that bear market, had this, in crypto terms, again, an echo bubble. This was a massive blow off top. Crazy, like highest volume on the entire chart at the time. and that marked the top and the all-time high, $20,000 for the first time. Here, exactly the same happened, $14,000. Why did we top out there? I remember that very well. 618. There we go. Fibonacci, guys. Amazing. Where I also managed to short the absolute top, actually. So, but yeah, that is glory from the past. Hopefully that answers your question. Do you use moving averages? From time to time, yes, but only on the high time frame. Maybe I look at it. Yeah, maybe once a month, really. To be honest, it's not part of my main trading routine. But yeah, I do look at them from time to time. I do look at them, but it's not. I'm not the type of guy that says like, oh, golden cross, bull market is on. I don't use that. So I do use them more for okay, these are resistance levels and find confluences of my I would say standard analysis. I'm very often seeing ATAs. I don't understand it too much, but these are squares, but you can read. Oh yeah, yeah, sure. Basically, Atos is a trading terminal, and if you have multiple accounts, you need one, right? That's why I clicked the Bybit window away as well, because I don't use Bybit windows to actually trade. I use third-party software to manage all my accounts into one application. There's multiple applications for that. Atos is one that includes order flow as well. You have HyperTrader. Shout out to you guys, by the way, if you're watching. Good application. I think it's very beginner friendly, nicely designed user interface as well. I like to use that. And there's a bunch of other stuff. Do you have any personal recommendations on where to learn order flow? Wait a few months, and then you'll be able to learn it from me. This is the thing. I have not learned how to read order flow from books or anything like that. I'm self-taught in order flow fully. So that's why I cannot recommend any books. Otherwise, I would have loved to do so, but I'm completely self-taught, especially in order flow. Technical analysis I've learned here and there from other people, but order flow is fully self-taught. We need to learn from you. Yeah, now you guys are really making me motivated to do this community. When you use extra charts, which time frame do you use to enter trades and what tick size? Haha, very good question. A trick question. The truth is, I don't. Being able to read order flow, you will be focusing on volume way more than actual time frames, and that actually allows you to get these crazy good entries. But if I do use, let's say, cluster charts, I do want to give you a proper answer. I do, like, on my template it says 5 minutes, right? But actually, if you look at this chart, this is not a time frame charts at all. You have volume charts, you have delta charts, you have trend ref charts, you have range charts and tick charts. So I actually use those more than I use time frame charts. But if I do use, let's say, my clusters, by the way, just quickly commenting on the price action. Also the reason why I thought we should bounce is, first of all, we are having an intraday level, very important intraday level, the VWAP, and on top of that we have like this sell volume coming in, giving us some divergences compared to this low, making the probability for a bounce very, very high. So that would have been a long trade for me if I was trading. But I'm streaming now, so, I haven't taken it. But there we go. Sign me up. Do it. Do it. I'm looking for a great entry for the mid-long term. Okay, so, yes. Okay, so Martin, welcome, my friend. I think this is a good question, and I do want to address this. I'm looking for a great entry for the mid to long term on BTC. Do you think I should wait or now is a good time? Wait. And the reason I'm saying is, so this is maybe I think I do want to address this. So I'm thinking how I'm gonna bring this. If you're asking this kind of question, then my answer would be wait. Why? Because if you would literally like invest now with everything that I just said, first of all, I would not be looking for longs up here. You have to realize, let me just clean up this mess. You have to realize that we are at resistance and we've come overall of already literally an 80 to 90% rise. Now ask yourself, is this the best time to enter into a new long? Or would you want to wait for a drop in price first and maybe go for something like a buy the dip option? Something that I've done over here. Originally, I have not longed this low. First of all, because it was just Christmas, New Year, it was very, very, very quiet. I wasn't really paying attention to Bitcoin, to be honest, at this period in time. If I'm totally honest, it was just relaxing, spending some time in the real world with family, with friends during the holiday season. So I actually missed this initial rise completely. Of course, I day trade. Here we are in 14 January, so I continued obviously trading. Yeah, but that was for day trades. But for like a new swing trade, new investment kind of situation, buying the dip, I needed to wait for that for that retracement, and that retracement was given 2 weeks ago. The trade that I was looking for, right? So that would be my suggestion. And keep in mind, this is not financial advice. I will never give you financial advice or tell you what to do. But longing up here, neither, let's say, longing up here or as you are making your way into resistance is never a good idea to make these kind of decisions in the middle of a move, right? You also have to realize we have already had a massive retracement, and since then we've already increased 46% in price, like 46%. Just naming these numbers it's just literally crazy. Like in a matter of a month, like pew. Only in crypto, guys. But anyway, point being, do you want to long something that already has gone up 46%? Or, do you want to wait for at least some base to be built or some retracement to come, right? So that you can reinvest. Now, do I know, how do I know if it's gonna get if that retracement is gonna start here or if we're gonna do this? You don't. All you do know is that retracement will come, and that's what you need to prepare for. And that's the reason why I would say wait, because you need to make a plan, right? You need to make a plan, wait for that retracement, define your areas where you're interested to buy, and simply when price reaches that level, buy, but also know or have beforehand a region where you would say like, okay, this is where I'm wrong on my trade and where I'm going to take out my trade, where I'm going to get out of my trade, take the loss. You might lose some money in that process, but it gives you the opportunity to enter into a new trade much lower, right? And I think that's the mindset that you should obtain. Never chase the market. You'll get hurt. So that's what I wanted to say. Let me see. Okay. Wow, so much questions in the chat. What do you think? Yeah, so I just literally went over that for almost an hour, so not gonna do that again. Let me see. Appreciate you. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you too. What's your main tool? Yeah, I apologize. I'm gonna skip that one for now. I'll do that in maybe in another stream. I don't really have a main tool. I look at the context and the situation, and based off of that, I choose which technical tools I use. Although I do have a set of tools that have my preference. You already know the answer because you see me pulling Fibonacci's a lot, so obviously that's one. What reactions are you looking for in 1 minute chart for entering trade? Well, basically market structure and price action, volume, delta, that kind of stuff. For swing failure pattern, do you look for high positive delta and high volume and exo that at levels of support, opening shorts and resistance? I'm not sure if I understand your question fully. But essentially, it falls in line with what I just mentioned about these highs with volume, right? So you wanna see that increase in volume, preferably fresh money entering the market. In other words, you want to see people trading the breakout, and you want to see them get trapped. That's what causes a move to fade. Hyper trader, something like that. Yeah, hyper trader. Or hyperlink with a Q. Forgot. um, dum, 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 dum. Is 10k BTC still in the table? Well, at the moment, unlikely. Also went in depth on that. What do you think about ARB? Okay, yeah. Okay, so normally I don't really like to react on like what I think on altcoins, but it's funny that Arbitrum whatever kind of came across my my notices. You know, like I'm trading on a total of 4 to 5 exchanges, and they all gave me like this push notification on my phone today, like, hey, trade this coin now. I think I have actually done some research into that. Just because I was interested in it. I think it's a pretty decent network. However, as far as I understand, I mean maybe I'm not fully educated about this project, but as far as I'm aware, the coin is actually not the real coin. Because I think this network doesn't have their own coin, so I'm pretty much classing this as a fan or meme coin at the moment. You know, can it perform well? Yeah, of course. I mean, it's crypto. Anything, anything can perform well. But do I think that particular coin holds fundamental underlying value? No, I don't. I don't. And I could be wrong. Maybe they released it right now. I don't know. So if that's the case, then I'll take my words back. And then I think the network is good. I think it's cool because there's a lot of innovative things going on in there. And I think I kind of became quite the supporter of the underlying blockchain scene as well, which I've been doing a lot of things behind the scenes in crypto. So aside from trading, so I used to only trade, but I'm also now making an effort in sharing my expertise to basically help the crypto space evolve. Yeah, because I do like the crypto space. But like I said, it's not my main. I mean, I'm in the end I'm a trader, right? So I'm not a programmer, or uh, I'm not really like an expert on every single altcoin per se. I look at charts and I trade them. That's what I am doing. That's what I'm good at. And I would say the whole fundamental aspect of it is more on the hobby side, really. Um, but yeah, I'm always open to learn myself as well, you know. So I would never claim that I know everything, you know. Always stay open for learning, and I think that's a good mindset to have. Can you point me to books I need to read for trading? I was recommended Mind Over Markets. You mentioned, yeah, no. Are you self-taught in footprints? Are there any books? Probably, but I don't know because I haven't really read any trading books. I actually, funny that you mentioned that. I have a video lined up for my most favorite books, but right off the bat, what I can give you is, what's it called? The Reminiscences of a Stock Operator. I think that is one of my all-time favorite trading books. It reads like some kind of Western cowboy Roman kind of story, but it's real. It's a very nice book, and I think if you are interested in trading in the markets, this is just like the one of the most enjoyable books to read. So you can learn from it a lot, but I wouldn't class it as a particular study book. But it's just amazing. It's crazy. It's very very cool. One, it's about a guy called Edwin. No, not Edwin. Anyway, forget. I'm not so good with names. I always forget those. But the guy, the trader, he's seriously a legend. I mean, he basically single-handedly prevented the United States from going bankrupt, essentially. So it's pretty epic. I definitely recommend reading that. And the way that it's written, I mean, it's not like high-class society literature, but it's just enjoyable to read, you know? If you want to learn about trading, Market Wizards is my main recommendation. The first one, though, from Jack D. Swagger. Second one, he wrote multiple books, but his first one is the best. The other ones, I don't know, didn't enjoy them as much. Still, they're very helpful, but yeah, I would definitely recommend those. And the other ones, I can't remember the name, so I'm gonna have to do a video about it. Um, yeah. So, what confirmations do you need or use before taking the trade? So RSI, no. Support and resistance, yes. Range highs and lows equal support and resistance. So the answer is yes. No, I mean I like to yeah. I think that subject is a little bit too complex to really go into depth. But yeah, market structure and volume is essentially the main ingredients that I use for my trading entries. I don't use indicators aside from, let's say, the VWAP or something like that. I mean, as a matter of fact, that's actually the only indicator that I actually use. And from time to time, every now and then, I look at an EMA or something like that. But yeah, that's really about it. I mean, um, I know how to use every single tool here on TradingView, and I know every application, how to do it. Which I'm happy to teach in some kind of a course or whatever. But most of the tools are situational. So the toolbox that I have is really this big, but because I can use all the tools, I know the ins and outs of everything. But there's not there. I believe in that there must be a purpose and a goal to use a tool. So whatever the situation is, I look at it and I think like, hey, this lends itself for, let's say, a trend, Fibonacci extension, or this lines up itself for a Fibonacci channel, for example. Things like that. Or hey, this is where I can start looking to construct a harmonic, for example, in combination with a channel, and then in combination with Elliott wave, etc., etc., etc. So yeah, that's why it's a little bit complex to give like a really clear answer on that. It's very situational. Can you show your current Elliott wave count, please? Well, no. Not because I don't want to, but simply because I haven't really updated it. So the Elliott wave count that I did in the live stream in the past, a few weeks ago, is pretty much still exactly the same. I haven't really altered it, and it's still in play, really. I don't really want to look at it now because for me it's in the evening, and the moment that I start looking at like these kind of counts, I'm probably instantly gonna get a brain fart. So I don't really want to deal with that now. So, but it's pretty much exactly the same still. It's just one out of the three counts that I presented there, just lowered in terms of probability. So my previous favorite count is not my favorite count anymore. I prefer a different count right now, which is one of a potential B wave. Yeah, Mark Douglas is a great book as well, by the way. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely great. By the way, I completely forgot. We have a few hundred viewers in here, and only half of the is likes. So please, guys, subscribe and like this this video. It's free, and I would appreciate that. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, I like being solo, man. Yeah, I enjoy it. Yeah, so I think Crypto Rob, he's referring to the book, to the guy in the book, from the reminiscences of a stock operator. That actually happened to the guy. It's a wild story. Absolutely, absolutely enjoyable. By far, for me personally, the most not the ones that I learned the most from, even though there were a lot of golden nuggets into it. If you are on the level where you're really, diving into the liquidity side of markets, but it's just a pleasure to read. It's just really funnily written. Do you do harmonic patterns? Yes, I do. At the moment, I don't have any. Also, can't be bothered to look for it right now because, my trading week is done. So I'm just chilling out here, sharing my stuff on stream right now with you guys. So I'm not really keen on putting in new work next week. Yeah, so one thing that I want to say, guys, I really appreciate all the support that you guys have been giving me. Really, like it's really helpful for me, and just really makes streaming and interacting with you guys such a pleasure. I'm really happy to do these streams. It's just amazing. Thanks for all the support that you guys are giving me. I'm not gonna disappoint you guys. Just keep an eye on everything that's gonna come. I think this year is gonna be pretty epic. Good stuff is gonna come out. Right. So I kind of wanna take a quick look at what can we do. Let's review. Let's finally review, and then I think I'm gonna wrap it up and call it a day. Because I'm getting tired, and aside from that, there's two really big lights, one over here and one over here, and they get really hot. So want to do a quick summary of everything that we talked about, and give some ideas, again, not financial advice. All right, so let's begin with the ES, which is the smaller version of the SPX. SPX is the S&P 500, top 500 tech companies in the world, although technically it's not really 500 companies, and technically there's not real 500 actual tech companies, but hey, fun facts aside. So let's look at the futures. Basically, what happened is a lots of stuff. We tried to break out to the upside, haven't really hit a significant level. To be fair, at least mid to high time frame. I'm sure that some intraday or local or whatever levels have been hit. I guess you could say like, oh, we swing failure these highs. Maybe for me, not anything like super significant. If anything, I would say overall on the macro time frame, we're just really ranging on the ES. So my analysis is as follows: we're in a downtrend, and currently we're just having this potential triangle forming. After which, naturally, if this is indeed the triangle, we would be looking down. In the end, the breakout probabilities are 50-50, but given the context, we're coming from an all-time high. This could very well be a break to the downside. This is macro, so this is going to take months for this to happen. More locally, we essentially just have come up for a full rotation to the highs, and I would say, we're now pretty much in the middle of all of that. As a matter of fact, we are in the middle of that. So naturally, when you are in the middle of such a macro range, you tend to have some choppy price action, which is exactly what happens whilst the levels are being respected. Some volatility yesterday because of some news stuff coming out. We tested the point of control, bounced from it really hard. Bitcoin followed. Now as a matter of fact, we're just literally like on that point of control again. And it looks like, now I want to know, it looks like market's gonna close at that point of control. So I was correct that we actually did close already. So we already actually closed. Wait a second. That's not true. Post market, obviously. Got myself confused over here. So that's the ES. Then we have the dollar. Dollar's actually seeing some relief at the moment. Took a beating yesterday during that news event. So am I thinking reversal here? Well, no. Dollar still. Okay, so dollar, let's give that a little bit more attention. Dollar, I was really bullish on it for a very long time. Even here. However, now we have gotten acceptance back into a 13-year-old channel. 5-year-old channel, sorry. Keep on confusing the SPX with the dollar sometimes. 5-year, 7-year-old channel. We are now once again back in there, forming this local range. Again, with having that context in play, having that acceptance. For me, big level is this 105, right? Anything below, I think we might see a further retracement into this channel once again. And this is really high time frame. So this doesn't happen in a day or in a week. I mean, it could, but that's not what I'm expecting. So, I'm a little bit less bullish on the dollar. Also, because of let's be honest, the news announcement obviously does have long-term effect. It does look like, even though all the banks collapse and all that stuff, I think it's actually, in terms of monetary policy, I think it's a good thing. Or I think it's not a good thing, but I think it could give us relief in the market, that that supports a potential bullish bias for the stock market and crypto as well. Simply because having these banks fail kind of equals an interest rate increase. So that actually means that we might maybe see a halt in those increases in the near future. Having that information now available to us since yesterday, I'm a little bit more open for more downside on the dollar. If that's the case, and the chart also tells me that as long as we are not breaching above this 105 level, that stance is being maintained. As simple as that. The support remains this monthly level, or more specifically this low. Lose that, then I think that's very bullish for Bitcoin. Very bullish. So we're gonna have to kind of wait and see. So for now, it's simply just ranging sideways, right? Bitcoin, remain bullish. This is a very, very, very important level for me. If we manage to get through this region, I foresee $40,000, if not $50,000. Hey, as you can see, I already did my analysis in advance. A year, as you can see. So $48,000. Yeah, that's it, really. That's it. I mean, if we start dropping, if we start losing these local lows, then this is big support. If we start to get back into this range, very similar then to the dollar, where you're just coming back into a previous range, and you could simply expect a full-on rotation to the downside. Another actual reason why I'm leaning a little bit more bullish, I don't like, so you might notice that I have some hesitance in saying bullish and bearish all the time, because I prefer to always stay neutral and just have levels of interest. But having this full-on rotation in the range and having actually this partial retracement of the range is another bullish factor in my how I weigh into my analysis. So, well, resistance, support, and lower than that at the moment is just not needed to go, and another resistance. If you reclaim all this stuff, then you have this whole region to look at, where a massive region. So obviously I'm not saying we're gonna go just there in a straight line, probably not. Probably not. We're gonna see some retracements, maybe a range, whatever. Maybe we're gonna see some messing around here even, who knows? That's impossible to say. But yeah, that's kind of what I expect. If we reclaim that region. Otherwise, support, lose that, support, lose that. Well, support. But by the time that happens, I'm pretty sure I'll be doing another stream and update you again. So, yep. I think I'm gonna wrap it up, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I enjoyed this, and I hope you did as well. After this, it's gonna be available on YouTube, so feel free to rewatch it if you want to use this for studying or whatever. Leave a comment. I'm gonna try to reply more on comments as well. I just haven't been so familiar with YouTube yet, so I'm starting to get the hang of everything now. So if you wanna leave a comment or anything, I'll make sure to read everything, and if possible, I'll send a reply. So thanks, guys, for joining me. I enjoyed. Hope you did as well. Have a great evening, and well, that's me tuning out. Peace, everybody. Bye.